Three. Hi, everyone. My name's Carrie Morgan. I'm the host of this Holistic Empire Summit. And so this is round 2 of my summits. And the reason I'm doing this summit because I want women all over the world to unleash their purpose. I want you to really get that mindset of prosperity and start creating that profit that you deserve, right? Deep down inside. And I've had the privilege of interviewing amazing women all over the world, right? Like, how lucky am I? And today I have Mary with me, and she's a mindset coach, and she really helps you tune into yourself, right? She has this unique type of system she put together that really tunes in to your vibration and pulls out that highest potential that you always know have been hiding inside. But I'm going to let Mary go a little bit deeper on exactly what she does and how she can help you step into your power. Okay, Mary.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much for that. Well, it's interesting because a lot of people, when they hear the word mindset, they think, oh, I can already do that. I'll buy a few books and, I can get back on track. But you know what? Unless we actually understand how the mind works, a book is not going to cut it. And I know that you're very much into the body side of it and the health and nutrition, and that plays a massive role in it. For me, the mindset, and as you mentioned previously, I specifically work with female entrepreneurs because to me, there are 2 sides to a mindset. The first is simplification and implementation of business strategies, and the other one is mindset strategies and how to converge those 2 together to get not just the most out of your day, but also to get out of bad behaviors and bad belief systems that are unfortunately stored at a cellular level. So that's where I really push people through and get them to confront their demons and completely move forward.
Great. So yeah, if I met you at like a coffee shop or somewhere out, what would be one word that best describes you? Like when you leave my presence, I would think like, wow, that energy I could feel, because words are definitely energy. So what word resonates with you?
Well, Kerry, I will say the word passion, and I'm going to explain why that word is so critical to me. And I think that a lot of women will be able to resonate with this. In my corporate life, I built businesses into double-digit millions, and I was an incredibly highly driven individual. Nothing has changed. I remember one day my managing director sat me down in my interview as we were going through my quarterly KPI interview, and he said to me, Mary, you need to tone down your passion because people are taking your passion as aggression. So what I want you to do is I want you to tone it down. And that for me was a huge moment in time where I had to make a very critical decision. Do I become what other people want me to become because it makes them feel comfortable? Or do I actually be who I really am in terms of my authentic self and find what is my ultimate purpose in life? And needless to say, I chose the latter. So passion is my key word.
Yes, I can see why. I would totally be like, are you kidding me right now? Like, is this really what you're coming to me with? Like, I have too much passion to be in your business. Like,
can you believe that? What sort of mentality is that?
But you would think that definitely people want to have that type of passion in their business, so it would drive them to where they want to be. But this is great because I would love to know that actually pulls us right into the next question, right? It goes into how long have you been in business, but how has your past aligned you in your current business? So it kind of fits right into this next question. Yeah. So I'll let you fill in the blanks there.
It was interesting, Kerry, that you asked that question because for a long time I knew I wanted to serve my tribe. But at the time I had no idea who my tribe were, and also I didn't know how to articulate what I knew in terms of who I am, in terms of my gifts, my unique gifts, and how do I articulate that and bring those unique gifts to the table to be able to serve people. It took me a long time to articulate that. And as time went by and I had a lot of mentors and a lot of coaches, what I realized is this, that I have a unique capability to grow businesses and run businesses and grow businesses into real success stories, whether they're for somebody else or for myself. And I had a very specific methodology in doing that. And the other side is my passion for personal development. In other words, becoming the best version of myself all of the time. How do I converge those and teach people in business, hence female entrepreneurs, how to live your authentic life, understand how to work with your mind, but how to take radical action every day to meet that grand goal. Because what happens is that we have a goal. We always say, oh, you know, we want this, I want this, I want to have this, and, you know, all these shenanigans around, you know, creating all these massive goals, which I'm all for, by the way. But what I'm all for is about the grand goal being broken down into monthly, weekly, daily goals so that we can actually manage our time, become conscious entrepreneurs, and at the same time, we're also coming face to face with our limiting beliefs. So that's kind of, you know, I've basically brought my corporate life into my vocation. The things that I learned in my corporate life have now become my vocation. And that comes, bottom line, is about what I'm truly passionate about.
Yeah, I can definitely hear the passion, you know, and understand when you go through something, then you really want to share it, right? Because you're like, this icky feeling, if other people are experiencing this, being put in a box and putting a lid on what is inside of them, like, can you imagine like how that must feel? So, and I truly understand, but that's definitely something that more women need to understand. You should not suffocate yourself or play small so someone else feels comfortable, right? Because what that does is it almost makes you feel like an achy feeling, but it almost feels like something's wrong all the time, and you can't speak your truth. I like to say speak your truth and really own that space. But let's go into you being a female entrepreneur, and how do you find mastery, or how do you find alignment in your business in your 24 hours, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, how did you do that? How did you move from that corporation? How did you take a stand for yourself and then push forward and go out there and be a solopreneur? You know, that's a big step, right? When going from that transition to that. So yeah, if you can give a little bit clarity, that would be awesome.
Well, the thing is, Kerry, that my story is a little bit unique because I came from a traditional corporate background, working for multinationals. I've, you know, spent 4 years in LA. You know, I was, you know, in the rat race, so to speak. Then from there, I decided to leave the rat race and actually start up my own business, which was a digital agency where we specialized in software development. I mean, you can't get any more masculine than that.
Yeah.
So I did that. I did that for 7 years. And Kerry, one day I woke up and I asked myself a very honest question. Do I really love what I'm doing? And the reason I asked myself that question is because every day was an uphill battle for me. I was stressed, anxious, frustrated. You couldn't make ends meet. And I'm thinking, I have always succeeded. Why am I struggling in my own business? And I had to come face to face with that question. Do I really love developing software, having this infrastructure for corporate people? No, I do not. That is not who I want to serve. I can't serve those people. They're not for me.
Yeah.
And so I left that and I decided to take time out, which I thought, well, I'll take a few months out. I had 2 little babies at the time, and those 3 months ended up becoming a 5-year intense research to better understand who am I. And that for me was I could say almost a privilege to have that opportunity. So for me, the trigger was coming face to face with the truth. Do I really, really love what I'm doing and who I'm serving? And the answer was very clearly no. When I left, do you know the best part about it was this immense liberation. I was so liberated and free because I was honest. You know, when you tell the truth, there's nowhere else to go, is there? It's the truth.
Yeah, you're totally true
right?
about that. Yeah, there's definitely nowhere else to go. I definitely do believe that, and that's great that you had the 5 years to really figure out. And I took a lot of time too myself to see like what do like I had to do a timeline jump, I call it,
Yeah,
where I go back and say when did I feel the most happiest? When did I feel good in my skin? When
yeah,
did I feel that like yes, that just connection, right? So that journey of healing and that process and letting it evolve is
yeah.
huge, right? That makes
Yes.
a huge, huge part. So with the mindset, let's play because I did this with all of the other women. Let's do a small session, like a 5-minute session. I would be a client coming to you. How would you help me shift into my mindset? Say maybe since you don't work with corporate people, so I'm a entrepreneur that's just starting out or has some experience, but just can't get, like, I feel like I'm about to quit, right? And
Yeah.
I just don't feel like the momentum's there. I'm not sure what's going on with me. And
Yeah.
then I see you online and I approach you, how would that session go? How would you get me to shift, but also get you as, be there with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you
Yeah.
to give all the details, but just a small little segment to
Sure.
understand what you really do.
Of course, Kerry. So basically, I take people through this process where I start right in the center point. And if you can imagine a spiral that starts at the center and it goes all the way around and it gets to an ending. So the beginning for me, and this is my biggest aha moment when I started all this research and I had immense mentoring, was to really understand the meaning of who am I at a cellular level, because that's the game changer. If we don't understand, Kerry, who we are as a single cell, the starting point of our creation, and the importance of that cell, the role that that cell actually plays out in our life, our adult life, is fundamental. Because to not understand that, there's no motivation to become the best version of yourself. All we are doing is looking for band-aid fixes. My message to my clients is that you already are the guru. I'm just taking you on a journey, handing some tools, and you are creating this journey for yourself. So I'm not a believer that you need to be with me forever. I just want to take you for a short period of time and you will be free for me. This is really important for me because I'm all about empowering. I'm not needy. So the first step is what I call oneness, which is the understanding of the cell, the biology and the physiology.
Yeah.
The next step is to challenge a paradigm. So let's look at the first 21 years of your life. Are you still living that 0 to 21-year-old, or is that 0 to 21-year-old still controlling your life? Essentially, the ego, the personality, that was not formed by you. It was formed by everyone and everything around you in the first 21 years. Let's challenge that. Let us see how egotistical you really are.
Yeah.
And so, right?
Yeah, that's a good.
Because a lot of people don't understand the idea around the ego, whereas I put it into a way where I really challenge you. I have developed, because of my software development background, one of the things that I utilize in my coaching is a lot of interactive online tools, because my goal is to get you transformed as soon as possible and not waste time having to think. We need to be able to do this as quickly as possible. So basically the tool will define how egotistical you are, and it goes through this whole question and answer thing. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
But I want to get people to challenge that, Kerry, because once you challenge your paradigm, you can then see that your ego is the CEO of your life. Could you imagine being 40 and not realizing that your 21-year-old self or 15-year-old self is running the show for you? No thanks.
Yeah. I know it happens all the time.
All the time, right? And then once we've challenged that, I take them into the next part, which is the emotional self. And this is where this is quite confronting and it takes a lot of courage. But what it is, it's about coming face to face with your emotions. That's coming face to face with the things that make you feel uncomfortable, which usually we call an emotion. So what I call those emotional labels. I work a little bit deeper than that. So if you say, hey, I'm angry, like I'm really angry, then I will take you through this process where we understand, well, let's understand how anger makes you feel. Because feelings, to understand feelings, is a whole different ballgame. You know, it's the feelings dictionary that I bring to life for people. And again, I've got an entire interactive tool that takes people through this process, that spits out a workbook, and they go through this whole process in understanding actually what feelings are caught up at a cellular level. Now we get to understand why the cell is so critical, because once that limiting belief is caught up at a cellular level, which is associated to a story, which is associated to feelings, and then associated to an emotional label, that becomes our state of being. Then we ask ourselves, why does my life not working out? Why do I keep on attracting all this shit in my life? It is because it's caught up at a cellular level. Your body has become your state of being, which therefore has become your subconscious mind. It's driving you to various destinations that are giving you the more of what you don't want. Yeah. And then I take people through this process, Kerry, where we actually come face to face with the emotion, and we do some clearing, breathing exercises, and we give the emotional label a whole new meaning. Then we go to the next part, and this is my favorite part, is where we write the book of our life. This is where we define our purpose. I don't believe that we need to go to somebody to tell me what my purpose in life is.
Yeah.
I'll define my purpose.
Yeah.
And we base that on our unique gifts. We base it on, I say think as unrealistic as you possibly can in the various areas of your life, and we actually start to write the book of our life. And that book is not negotiable. Could you imagine now becoming a conscious entrepreneur, that book is with you 24/7, and every time you look at it, when you open up your purse, it triggers something in you.
Yeah.
And then the final part, Kerry, is to really start connecting with your subjective self. So I take the woo-woo out of it, because there is no woo-woo. We've just been made to believe that this whole new age movement, you need a ritual, you need to go to this person to get in touch with your higher self. Yeah. No, we don't need that. It is a part of who we are. That is a higher level of consciousness.
Yes.
We need to understand how to use it. It's not ritualistic. It's about you, physical, and you, subjective, coming together. Let's get real here, and I know you'll understand this. The mind and body connection, it has been proven scientifically time and time and time again. It is documented in scientific journals. So let's not be crazy here and deny who we truly are.
Yeah.
And so in my process, Kerry, what I do is most people start off by writing goals. And, I want this and I want this, and the law of attraction is not working for me. But I say, you cannot write the book of your life with the same body and mind that created all of these dead ends in your life, all these limitations in your life. They have to be stripped, challenged, and you have to give those a whole new meaning, so that your higher self now becomes the CEO of your life, not your ego. And that's the process.
Hello. Like, I am in love with that process, but it's so true. It's just like, we call it the woo-woo, we call it that, and people are like, I'm not into the woo-woo, but I'm like, is it really the woo-woo, or is it just you, right? Because they'd be like, is it the woo-woo, or is it you? You have to think about it. It's you showing up for yourself, right? And that's that daily aligned, I like to call it aligned actions, right? You feel the thought, you hear it, and you go forward. I love that you're going with the cellular level, because I've heard this before, but the way I generalize it to people is your body gets used to one thing. Like, my girlfriend's a nurse, so when she goes and she has to perform in the emergency room, her body is set up on that level of having to operate in that stressful situation, right? Yes. From a cell level, she's like, oh, I got to do this. The same thing when people are on drugs. Their body is craving some stimulation that they got to on this cellular level, and they have created this habit within. So when you want to get to that potential, you have to realize that your body, everything that you do, you created on a cellular level, and you have to I call it detox, like taking out the trash, right? Take out your mental trash, so that you can be like, okay, who's my new story? What's my new
Yes.
chapter? And what am I
Yes.
writing? But I
Yes.
love that. That's really what people need. They
Yeah.
need to stop, blaming their decisions on where they are right now, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
the other thing, Sarah, that on the business side, so I basically split my coaching into left brain, right brain. Literally, that's what I do, because female entrepreneurs are solo entrepreneurs. They're all running businesses, and that process that I explained, I incorporate that into, I have a daily planner, and they incorporate all those components at a micro level so it can meet the macro level. See this, and again, it goes back to that cellular mindset, or the cellular, that's kind of my starting point. My whole foundation is built on the quantum processing, which it all comes back down to the one dot. And in business, when we run our business, it should be exactly the same. It should come down to a subatomic level, so the micro will meet the macro. And I think this is a very important understanding, because so many of us, we say, oh, I want to achieve 10 sales this week, I need to get that $100,000 this month. It's not about the need of the 100,000, it's about understanding all the possibilities that can bring 100,000.
Yeah, that's
Right?
definitely a great approach on thinking, like, what will this achieve for me, but what will I be able to use with it? How will it change my existence and the people around me and my legacy? So that brings us into, like I said, I know when I do a lot of mindset work also, but I do the mind body collaboration, like lean into your existence, right? But we all have these days, you want everything to work out perfectly, but when shit hits the fan in your day and you're like, okay, like, I know we all connected, but for a woman that, just starting out, she may not know how. So how do you get through those moments? How do you trigger yourself to get back in and solve the problems? Is there something that you do for yourself that helps you, get back in the game when that kind of day comes in your business?
It really does, Kerry. And I'm a bit radical, because I am so passionate about becoming the best version of myself that I have let go of a lot of the inhibitions that held me back in the past. Even though I was very successful in my career, and I still am, because I'm actually now building a whole new career.
Yeah.
The thing is that there are some limitations that we all always have. The key is not to deny them. The key is to come face to face with them. I'll give you an example. There's two things that I do all the time. One is I do 3 to 4 major detoxes a year, because I believe that we must be aligned at a physical level, at an emotional level, and a subjective level. So for me, the way that I deal with my physical is exercise, massage, and major detoxes, juicing, things like that, nourishing my body with goodness, with live food that will love my body. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is that I really challenge myself from a mindset perspective. Like this week, for example, I was really struggling with judgment. Like, that was the thing that I thought, I wanted to launch a campaign, and I was like, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm frightened. And so I decided to come face to face with that emotional label, and I recorded myself singing live on Facebook, because I thought, if I'm going to be judged, let the 4,000 people that are my Facebook friends judge me. Bring it on. And do you know what I learned from that, Kerry? It was hilarious.
That's hilarious. It is. I love it, though.
But that's the sort of thing that I would do, because I'm actually coming face to face with it. I'm not talking about it. I'm not worrying about it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not calling my girlfriends talking. I wanted to come face to face with it. But you know what I learned? Once I did that, it was incredible how many people private messaged me and said, wow, that was amazing. That's courage. I wish I could do that. And it was really actually quite the opposite effect. And I realized in that moment, I'm only judging myself. No one else is judging me. Like, really?
That is Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
We do judge ourselves a
we
lot,
do.
right? And
Absolutely.
we forget that um
Hmm.
most of our thoughts are negative and they're towards ourselves. So if we
Hmm.
can shift the way our process or our thinking about ourselves, or just pick in that, right, that self-love, right,
Yeah.
or that self-worth, right, because this is what it's all about. The whole
Hmm.
summit is just like from the
Hmm.
inside building your empire, right?
Yeah.
And I always say I like to give people these simple concepts so they can relate to. It's like a credit
Yes.
score. So if
Yeah.
your credit
Yeah.
score is below a certain number, there's no way you're getting a car, you're not getting a house, you're not getting anything. And that's the same
Absolutely.
thing when you're thinking about yourself. If you can get your thoughts above like 500 into a positive mindset and a positive a positive reflection of self-assurance and self-discipline and self-love, then you can have that house, you can have that loan for your business, you can have
Yeah.
all that because your numbers are high, right? But you're in that zone, you're in that frequency. So I definitely love that. But I like to give people that, oh, I relate to that. I had a bad credit score. Now it's better and things are opening up for me. It's the same
Right.
thing with your
Yeah.
vibration and your frequency. You need to lift it up a little bit and
We
really
do.
start to bring in that, that
Yeah.
reality to your life. So let's go into what a day looks like for you. Like, I know, like a power day. So is there a certain time you would get up, and is there a process of how you bring in clients, and and those types of things that I think most people want to know, the inside juice, right, of what's going on in people's lives.
Yeah. So I actually work with a planner. So I have a daily planner, and it's like my running sheet. Every day I know what I need to do based on the goals that I set for my month. So this month I have, let me share that with you. I've got 2 campaigns that I need to run on my Facebook, 2 challenges, and do 24 Facebook lives for the month of November. So what I do is, these are my macro monthly goals, and then I break them up into my weekly goals. So I know that every week I have to do 5 Facebook lives, 1 challenge, whatever it may be, and then I break it down into daily. And so it's simple. Like, I'm not, I'm not reacting in my business. I'm proactive in my
I
business.
love that.
Right. And what that means, Kerry, is that I have time to do other things. I have to prepare my Facebook campaigns, which is something that I really enjoy doing. And I've learned a lot about creating Facebook campaigns. Obviously, technology is my second nature, so it comes very easy to me.
Yeah.
But then other things, like, I have spent time in creating content and, products for my coaching program, because I really want to be able to empower women through technology, not just through the coaching that we do, in this type of a scenario, but also get people to take action, radical action. And so I do exactly the same. Everything I teach, I do. So I'm not one of these coaches that are coming from the space of philosophy. I'm coming from a space of wisdom. I've experienced everything that I teach. I haven't learned the knowledge that has become my philosophy. That is not what I am. And so it's just a breakdown of my month. It's not, everything I do is not brain surgery. It's pretty simplified. And then I do my daily rituals, which is my breathing exercise. So when I'm confronted with some form of limitation or frustration, I'll sit down quietly for 15 minutes, do my breathing exercises in and out, bring that emotion to the forefront, feel it, come face to face with it, tell my ego that it's okay, I understand that you want to play this role, but I ain't going to let you come in today.
Yeah.
And then, right? And then I just get on with my day. So it's fairly simplified. But the one thing that I will say, even though I am a mindset coach, I also invest in coaching. Right, this is
Yes.
very important, because I think we forget about this whole idea about coaching. And I think you and I will agree that there are 2 different types of coaches. There are philosophers and there are the wisdom teachers that want to empower their clients, not disempower their clients. And I think that you are exactly the same. You're all about empowerment and, wisdom rather than philosophy. And so I invest in personal development myself. I have amazing coaches, and this is how I run my week. I don't spend, Kerry, 40 hours a week working. I have Tuesdays and Fridays are specifically the days where I'll talk to my potential clients and I interview them, go through the application process, and then, we go to the next phase. So I'm really big on giving value in our first free session because I want people to understand how I work. And then those calls are usually done Tuesdays and Fridays. Everything else in between is based on what I have in my planner.
Yeah, I love the whole, how you have everything mapped out and the months go by so fast,
Yeah.
forget
Yes.
it, right? And I love that, all the challenges. I'm like, I need to step my game up. And so as soon as I heard that, I was like, girl, you need to step your game up, right? Even though I know I've done a summit, so I did interview 20 something people and I did set up a lot of systems, so I'm good, but I know I can always
You're
step my game
amazing.
up, right? But I love that. I love the challenges. I love all that because what that does is keep your fire going, right? It definitely keeps you stimulating and in that energy of flow.
Yeah,
And that's where it
absolutely.
comes from. So this
Yeah.
leads us perfectly into what is your vision for yourself, for your business going forward? What will be your legacy for worldwide expansion? What do you see, as your ultimate performance, as a female entrepreneur?
Do you know what, Kerry? I love that question because I think that, I hear so many women say, oh, I'm going to be the next Oprah. I'm going to be the next
Yeah.
this. Right? I don't think like that. This is my belief system. I believe that every single person in this entire universe have unique gifts. We already know that because everyone's DNA is unique. So therefore we must all have unique talents and gifts. We need to bring those unique gifts and talents to the tribe of people that have been assigned to us, that only we can share the wisdom that we have been given or learned on earth to the tribe of people that will resonate and only resonate with us, which therefore to me means there is no such thing as envy or jealousy because I don't have your tribe and you don't have mine. And I feel really comfortable with that. And my legacy would be purely to just empower female entrepreneurs to balance their left and their right business mindset, left brain, right brain, and to really understand the value on investing in yourself, step out of new age propaganda and get into the truth. Understand who you are is the most empowering gift anyone can give themselves. And I would love to be able to teach that.
Yes, that is right. Because it's definitely about that. It's definitely about that. Just realizing, what feels good inside here and how women need this so much out there. And I can tell you what, anytime you go into a new space, it feels awkward. I mean, like when you're transitioning and being an entrepreneur for 20 years, like we were in the poultry industry. So we did like mixed martial arts, which there's like the UFC fights. We promoted those for 5 years. So I've been through a lot of transitions and it's like every time it's something new, it's like starting all over, but you have to know how to empower. And like you said, that wisdom, it comes from me walking that walk. So I can see people's potential before they even give me 20 words, right? Yeah. But I love how you said, I want to set you free because that's how I feel too. I have been with some coaches that feel like they almost make you feel like keep you on a string. Right? And that you can't live without them. And I'm like, oh my God, am I in a spell? Like you actually feel like you're in a spell. Like they have written a spell around you that you can't get out. And I had to like cut my energy off and be like, look, I could do this. You know what I mean? Like, and it's really hard. And I think a lot of people get in that where you're in a tribe, but they're stringing you along so that you always need them. And that is not where be in this world. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because that's something that I feel really passionate about. So we're going to go into like how it feels for you. What does spiritual alignment look like for you as a female entrepreneur? And I've asked everyone this question, and I think that this is something that people need to hear. I mean, because it's going to be different for everyone else, but you need to know it exists, right? And it's out
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Absolutely. So to me, my spiritual alignment is really connecting with what I call my subjective self, my higher self, because I know it exists. I know scientifically that the mind body is an absolute connection. But Kerry, I am in connection with my higher self daily. You know, like I could be sitting in the car and having a conversation with myself, my subjective self, asking for guidance, asking to be shown answers, asking to, give me some clarity on things that I need clarity on, or, I need to resolve certain issues. I'm always guaranteed an answer within 24 hours. I've never been let down. When you start to understand the power of your higher self, and you continue to do this over and over again, and you continue to get results over and over again, this ain't woo-woo.
Yeah.
It just, right? And I want to share with you my inspiration in really, really, really wanting to understand this whole mind-body, subjective physical connection. There's a scientist who's a sociologist. His name's Dr. William Bengston, and he's one of the dean of the sociology faculty at St. Joseph's College in New York. And Dr. Bengston is a left brain, as he calls himself, atheist, not interested in woo-woo. I mean, this is a statistician we are talking about, okay? Yeah. And what he wrote a book called The Energy Cure. I've just got it here on the side. He wrote a book called The Energy Cure, where he talks about he met somebody randomly. Nothing's random, as you know, but met someone randomly. And what happened is that Dr. William Bengston had a very bad back for many, many, many years. Met this guy who said, look, I can heal your back. And Dr. Bengston said, yeah, whatever. Look, I'm an atheist. Like, I don't believe in all this spiritual stuff. And the guy did heal his back. The guy was able to do things that blew this guy away. And then Dr. Bengston said, I want to invite you into the university, and I want to do a test in a laboratory. And so he got all of his students to become involved, and this guy taught not just Dr. Bengston but all of the students how to heal mice that were injected with terminal cancer cells, which guaranteed the mice would die within 21 days. They did the experiment once, twice, 10, 20 times, different geographical locations, different people doing the experiments. All mice were cured. All of them.
Amazing.
Right? We are talking about a left brain scientist, traditionalist. And so he says, I don't know how it works. I have no idea how it works. All I know, it works. And so he was actually my inspiration to really dive in and understand, what does this mean? Like, there's meaning in this. And for me, I'm a numbers girl. Like, I love mathematics, hence the software, the IT background. My whole career has been in technology. So for me, having a scientist prove that there is a non-physical aspect was really meaningful to me. And as a result, I got to experience it for myself. And this is how I teach people. I have a whole methodology on how to teach people to set intentions. And it's based on this whole scientific platform. It's not based on, just writing an affirmation and hoping for the best. No. We want to consciously create. We don't want to unconsciously create. We want to create, and it's not negotiable. That's what we want, and that's what we're going to get. So for me, understanding my higher self came from that angle, from a scientific angle, and as a result, I started to research a lot more. And people like Dr. Gabor Mate, he goes into this whole idea as well. And so spiritual alignment for me is to truly honor, and I mean absolutely honor, on a second-by-second basis. As I'm talking to you, I've got goosebumps. that part of me that I can't touch, but I can feel. That's
Yeah.
my whole point. Because remember, the language of our higher self is feelings. That's basically how we know that we've been communicated to. It's like, you know, when you're not feeling well, there's parts of your body that ache. It's your higher self saying, take notice. So
Yeah.
that's my spirit. That's how I get my spiritual alignment, as well as my breathing exercises. It's all about breathing in the life force energy and then breathing it out and just really nourishing that part of me. And it comes down to that, for me, the quantum physics approach. It's the collaboration between the physical, the emotional, and the subjective. The three must come together. And that's how I approach my spirituality as well.
Awesome. So that's definitely great. And I know you've been in technology for a long time, which is great. And a lot of people need to understand what technology does for your business. So how can you tell people how technology can really elevate your message out there? Is there like a key thing that you use in your business with technology?
I use technology basically to make my life easier. So where I can, you know, automate any part of the process, I will absolutely lean towards that, because I truly believe that technology has it's two sides of the same coin. It could be detrimental, or it can be a really positive enhancer in your life. Some people use it for the negative. I like to use it for the positive. And so where I can automate, where I can be creative, where it allows me a platform to celebrate my creativity and to bring my ideas to life, I will use technology. And Kerry, there's nothing to be frightened of in terms of technology. I just think so many people are so frightened of technology when there's nothing to be frightened of. I mean, at the end of the day, we have such amazing services like Fiverr and, Upway and all these external freelancing services that we can engage for such a cost-effective, and it's such a cost-effective way to build a platform. You know, we don't have to do it all ourselves, but that's my whole approach to technology. It's all about simplification.
And that's great, because we forget that this is about making it easier for us so we
Yeah,
can do what we love, right? If you're like caught up in all that systems and everything, and then you feel like really overwhelmed and you don't want to push forward. So that
yeah.
gets us right in. We got two more little tiny things, and then we like to end it with the little golden nuggets that we leave everyone. But this last one is, in your eyes, how has alignment helped you with sustaining abundance and wealth, right? Mindset, or, physical, items that you have, or just, the way you live, because it does come down to the mindset. It does come down to the reality of how you feel and believe about yourself is what you start to create and you see every day.
Yeah, I think that for me personally, it's been clearing out at a cellular level. Belief systems, emotions, feelings that are caught up at a subatomic level is for me my priority. Without clearing those, I can't move forward, because everything else will become superficial. And at some point it comes back and it will bite you. And I learned that the hard way, Kerry. You know, as I was extremely successful in building other people's businesses and my own business, there came a point in time where I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, why do I desperately want this success so badly? I am working 60, 70 hours for this thing called success. It wasn't the success that I was after all those years. It was getting my parents' approval to say,
Oh,
wow, we are so proud of you. That's what it came down to. When I realized that, I thought, wow, I don't want success. I just want the feeling that success gives me. And I need to pursue my passion and live in that vibrational feeling every day. The outcome is not about financial. The outcome is about serving and self-satisfaction. And the money does come. It happens. It's an automatic outcome. That's the result you get when you are following your passion, you're truthful, you're constantly coming face to face with those blocks that are all holding us back. So for me, when I get any form any thought that's stopping me from moving forward, it's time to come face to face. And now I feel very comfortable with that. In fact, I get so excited when I have a reaction and it's a negative reaction. So if I get upset or I get angry at something that happened, or my mum might say something that has triggered something in me, wow, do I get excited? Because the more I get triggered, the more clearing I do and the better version of myself I become. So that is my whole focus every day. Am I, right in this moment, the best version of myself? Am I giving Kerry the best version of myself right in this moment? That's how I live my days.
Yeah, I would definitely say you are giving me 135%, 150%, 200%, right? I can feel it coming right through the screen. So I'm like, woo, baby, tell me, girl. So I definitely, understand. And I love that you were here with us. This is just amazing to have these opportunities and meet these people. And like, for me, I'm always like, just ask. You never know what's going to happen. And it's not about getting approval. And I love how you really let go of what success meant, right? Instead of chasing success, getting in the underlining feeling of, what does that mean for me? What is that feeling like? Like, who am I doing this for, right? And then so many people get stuck in that story, right? In that system.
They really do.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And I think a lot of us, for me as well, Kerry, that we need to ask ourselves the big why. Like, why are we doing what we're doing? Like, really, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you want to keep up with the Joneses? Are you doing it because you truly are passionate about what you do? Are you doing it because, we really need to understand the big why. And that's, for me, such a huge part of what I teach. I don't work 60 hours a week. I used to do 60 hours a week. I work way less hours. I'm way more productive. I have way more time on my hand. And I homeschool 2 boys.
Yeah.
Right? If I can do it, anyone can do this.
Yeah, that is so true. I love how you said, like, who are you doing it for? But be honest with yourself, right? It's about being honest. So let's go. That brings us right down to, I like to say, the golden nugget. So what would be a golden nugget you can drop for the audience? And it would kind of be like, let me say that something that if they took action, if I met you and we're at a networking and I just heard you talk and you say, well, why don't you just try this? Like, maybe I had an issue. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to hire her, because I really did the work. Obviously you have to do the work. So yeah, if you can share that, that would be amazing.
I actually did this with a friend of mine last week, and she just emailed me the other day and said, oh my God, whatever you've done is really working. So what I like to say is that if there is something in your life that's causing a reaction, think about the last 24 hours, no more than the last 5 days, where something happened, a situation that caused some form of negative reaction. You might call it frustration, you might call it anger, you might call it jealousy. Whatever the label is, just write it down. Go back into that story or into that scene and step right into it. And now once you're in that story, ask yourself, how do you actually feel, or how did you feel when you were angry? Like, how did it make you feel? Did it make you feel unworthy? Did it make you feel sad? Did it make you feel invisible? How did it actually make you feel? And write those out. Because the moment it's articulated is the moment that you have actually challenged the ego, and you have basically said to the ego, I'm not feeding you what you need in order to control me. Because that's how the ego can only survive in those type of vibrational states. It cannot survive in love and gratitude. Okay, so what I'm saying is that become conscious of your thoughts, become conscious of the emotional label that you constantly use, and then understand how they make you feel. Once you've articulated the feelings and the emotional label, sit quietly for 15 minutes, breathe in and out through your nose only, and bring those feelings to the surface. Feel them. Come face to face with them. Do not deny them. The moment you come face to face with those awful, low vibrational emotions and feelings, what happens is that as you're breathing in and out, you have now started to give those cells an entire new meaning. The brain is sending messages to the receptor and saying, hang on a minute, she hasn't been doing this in the last 40 years, and now suddenly she's giving me a new meaning. Could you imagine how powerful this is? Like, this is amazing. And this is the game changer. And so that is the one thing that I can say that is my daily ritual, actually. So I just do breathing every single day, just conscious breathing to give my cells life. That's basically all that needs to be done. But bringing the emotions to the surface is even more powerful. And one more little tip, if anyone that's listening to this is into EFT or tapping,
yeah,
do the breathing exercises for 15 minutes and then just do the tapping on the, I think the 9 acupressure points,
yeah,
and just say, I release and let go anger. I release and let go of envy. I release and let go of whatever the emotional label is. You can even say out loud the feelings associated with it and just do a round of that. And oh my God. So that's the golden nugget that I'd like to leave with everybody.
I love it. I definitely love that. I love, love, love that, because we don't want to feed like the bad wolf, right? You want to feed the good wolf. It's that same concept, right? And it's definitely about doing the breath. I call it the Ujjayi breath, because I've done the yoga process to heal myself. I knew I needed something, and I needed that cleansing, and I needed to say, well, what if I did this? How would that make me feel? So going through that, being a yoga, going through the journey of teaching myself yoga and learning to craft that skill was for me to heal, right? It was a process of me healing. But that breathing, and it's that simple. Come back to your breath. So we are going to say this is the time where if you have any freebie or there's an offer or anything, that how can we find you? How can people get to know you? And I'll make sure I have all the links set up too, but I would love for you to share that with the audience.
So maryhendersoncoaching.com is my website. So people can get in touch with me if they want to talk to me about my coaching program. The best thing to do is to get on my website, because I really do a one-on-one, qualification process. I don't have a generic, go to my sales page and just have a look at all the features. No. It's all about very, very, very much into, are you, ready to do the work that I want to do with you? And that's the other thing, Kerry. We have to be ready to become the best version of ourselves and put the effort into it. If people are not prepared to put the effort into it, I can't work with those people, because the work that I do does require a lot of courage. There's a lot of confronting. It's uncomfortable, but it's bloody amazing once you get through it, because you will never be the same person you were when you started working with me. And my next group starts in January, which runs for 8 weeks. So if anyone's interested, maryhendersoncoaching.com.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I want to say thanks everyone for being here. This was an amazing experience, a journey. I want to thank Mary for sharing all of her, deliciousness, right? Because that you can just feel that like creative juice, but just the being authentic and knowing that this is the person that's going to get me there, right? Like you could just hear it. And I'm so excited to just say that everything that we're doing right now is going to be packaged in a digital library so that you can come back and pull what you need, and then really know that you're ready so that you can reach out to these mentors and really find that time, right? But you have to do that process first. So when you show up, you're fully prepared to commit to yourself, right? That's what it's about. And I want to say thanks everyone for being here. This is amazing. I'll make sure I have all the links. Make sure that you go out there, really unleash your purpose, right? Get that prosperity mindset and start creating that profit that you deserve deep down inside. We want everyone to step into their power 1 foot at a time, right? 1 step at a time, and know that you are so worth it, right? Always remember, I like to do my hashtag understanding your worth or know your worth. You have to really start to cultivate those words from the inside out. So we're going to be signing off. So if you have anything else to say, or you just want to say goodbye, that's awesome.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You know that I'm a big fan of yours, and you and I met in like the most weird way, but you are such a generous, open, warm woman. I just adore you. And I know that everyone that gets their hands on what you've been able to create in this summit will truly, truly, truly benefit. So thank you.
Thank you. That was so sweet. I truly am like so excited right now just to be here and like be in your presence, right? Because you see people online, but when you're in the video with them, it's so
Yeah.
incredible, right? It's totally amazing. But yeah, so thanks everyone. Make sure you stay tuned. We have like 2 more sessions going tonight. And also, I want to let you know that we are here for you. If you have any questions, make sure you tune in and ask, and we will make sure we get back to you. Okay, awesome. So
Thanks,
signing
Mary.
off.
Bye. Bye, everyone.